What's up guys, Little Dog here. For this quest, you're going to need 1 clean Marintil, 1 clean Harlander, a vial of water, around 1,000 coins, but you could need up to 7,000 if you're really unlucky. 4 steel bars, a bronze bar, an iron bar, and a pot. And I also recommend that you bring some combat gear because there are some fights that you have to do in this quest. One of them is a level 63 and the other 3 are level 35. To begin this quest, you're going to want to speak to Yanni Silica, who's in the north side of Shiloh Village right by the gem rock. So to begin, you're going to talk to Yanni Silica, who is just in Shiloh Village, and tell him you're bored and ask if there's anything to do around here. Since you're bored, he's going to ask you to do a favor for him, and this is where the long chain of favors starts. So he asks you to get some redwood for him, and you can get that just south of Shiloh Village from one of the foresters. Speak to one of the foresters once you're out about one small favor. Ask him about the redwood, and he'll tell you that he needs his axe sharpened. He's going to send you to a captain just to the west. And you see the captain is located here, west of Shiloh Village. Climb the ladder and speak to the captain. The captain's going to tell you to go to Port Sarim by yourself. He can't do favors for everybody. So you can home teleport to Port Sarim or take his boat for 22 to 42 coins. I just home teleported as it's quicker and it's less money. Talk to Brian in the axe shop about one small favor and about sharpening the axe. He's going to tell you that he would help you, but he can't focus on his work because one of his mates is going to jail and he needs you to get a character reference for him. And that character reference is going to be Aggie from Draenor Village. She's located here, the one who makes the dyes. So you can home teleport to Draenor, or you can just walk. It takes about the same amount of time with loading taken into account. Speak to Aggie about one small favor. Ask her if she'll do a character reference for you, and she says she would, but she can't find her apprentice, Johnny the Chisel. He is located in the Ham Hideout, so you can just home teleport to Lumbridge or walk. Once again, it takes about the same amount of time with the loading taken into account. You're going to want to pick the lock to get in. This may take a while if you have a low thieving level, but it'll open eventually. And then speak to Jimmy the Chisel, who's on the opposite side of the Ham Hideout. You're going to have to open the door and choose speak to the inmate. And then go speak to the Ham leader, who's just on the opposite side. Speak to John House about one small favor, and he's going to ask you to get a month's supply of chickens for him so that they can make sure they have enough food. Now you need to head to Fred the Farmer. Speak to Fred the Farmer about one small favor. Tell him Jimmy's gone missing, and he can help him get him back, but he doesn't have a month's supply of chicken, so you have to get those from Seth the Farmer. Seth the Farmer is located just on the other side of the Lumber River. So just run across the bridge and speak to Seth. He's going to be in his house or walking around that side of it. Now Seth's one small favor for you is you have to go pay off his debt and get pigeon cages, which would be chicken cages, for him. So you need to speak to the blacksmith in Varrock. Unfortunately, the smith is sick, so he can't help you till he's better. He's going to ask you to go to the apothecary to get him some breathing salts and some herbal treatment. The apothecary is located right here, just south of the western bank. Talk to the apothecary about one small favor. It'll be the last chat option. He'll give you the tincture,
And then he drops his pot of breathing salts. You are so close to being done, but you're not. So now you need to go to Barbarian Village and speak to Tassie Slipcast, who is located in the crafting building. Now the fastest way there is to walk, or take the fall or teleport. It's about the same time. Speak to Tassie, and she's going to tell you that she needs help taking care of Hammer Spike before she can help you, because she needs to focus on her paying customers. So Hammer Spike is located in the Dwarven Mines. Once you're in the mines, just head south. And then west to Hammer Spike's hangout, and he's the dwarf in red. Talk to him and ask him, have you always been a gangster? And he'll tell you he always wanted to be a druid, and if he wants to be like Sanfu and Taverley. So you have to go to Taverley and speak to Sanfu. Quickest way is to home teleport. When you talk to Sanfu, he can help you, but he wants you to talk to the gnome up on White Wolf Mountain about getting a flight path to Uglog to spread the word of Guthix to the ogres. He tells you need to make a Guthix rest potion, which is just that clean Mrentil and clean Harlander on a vial of water. Once you make that, head up to White Wolf Mountain. And speak to the gnome by the glider. Now the gnome, once you give him the Guthix rest, he's going to want you to get some lightweight ropes called trash from Aren, who's in Catherby. He's the general store owner on the docks. So after talking to the captain, you're just going to need a home teleport to Catherby or walk there. And he's located right here, so home teleporting is just quicker. Speak to him about getting the trash, and he wants a weather report so that his boats don't sink. To get a weather report, you gotta go to Sears Village. And speak to the guy in the building here. His name is Sir Farsight. I'm not gonna pronounce the first part because it doesn't look fun. And speaking to Farsight, he'll give you a weather report if you save the girl who is trapped somewhere around, but he doesn't know where. Now the girl is trapped in the Goblin Caves, just by the Fishing Guild. Just climb down in the caves and follow the east wall. When you walk in, you'll get a little cutscene, and then go up and read what it says on her, and it says to speak to Wizard Cromperty. Make sure you search it, or you won't be able to progress. Go speak to Wizard Cromperty. Just home teleport to Ardoin or walk. Wizard Cromperty tells you to free the girl from being in the rocks. You need to get iron oxide for a special spell. To get the iron oxide, you have to go to Port Khazard. Before you leave, though, you need to get those 5 pigeon cages that can be turned into chicken cages. So you're just going to head to the western side of East Ardoin, and in a guy's backyard here, you can pick up the pigeon cages. They respawn instantly, and you only need 5 of them. Now you're going to head to Port Khazard and speak to a man on the docks located here. The fastest way for me was to home teleport to Yanil and walk through. Speak to the merchant about the iron oxide, and for him to give you the iron oxide, he needs you to fix his mattress. To fix his mattress, you need to go to Raz from Big Chompy Bird Hunting, just south in Uglag, and get some Big Chompy Bird feathers to fill his mattress. Now, Raz is located here. I think it's faster to walk. It took me a while after home teleporting to get there. Speak to Rance. Ask him what he needs help with, basically, because you have to do a favor for every single person you talk to. And he wants you to get rid of the gnome on the gnome glider. This is located just west. When you speak to the gnome, he wants you to fix his runway, and that's all he needs to do to leave. To fix his runway, you have to search these things. So right click on the lights and search them, cut the gem that you get, and put it back on the light. You have to do this with each one. However, sometimes when you're crafting the opals and the jades, they can break, and you have to get these back from the gnome for 500 coins. You can see here I break this jade. Luckily, that was the only one I broke. And sometimes you'll be attacked by these ogres. Probably should have mentioned that earlier, but I'm not going to change it. Once you've cut all the gems and put them back in their right places, the gnome will agree to leave. And now you can start working your way back up the chain. So you need to head back to Rance. Tell him you got rid of the gnome and he's going to fill up your mattress with feathers. Take this back to the merchant in Port Khazard. When you talk to the merchant, you got the mattress, so he's going to give you the iron oxide. Take this back to Wizard property in Ardoin. Once you have the iron oxide, he's going to give you the spell. And you need to take this spell back to the Goblin Cave to free the girl stuck in the stone. Once again, just follow the east wall up to the cavern. Walk up to the middle of the room and then read the scroll. You'll miss the first time and summon this rock monster. He doesn't hit very often, but he has a high defense, so you won't hit him for very much. Read it again, and the girl will be free. After a short dialogue, she tells you she's going back to Seer's village, and you say, "I'm sure I'll see you there." So head back to Seer Farsight. Talk to him about the weather report. Ask him the second chat option, why can't you find it? The second chat option once again, and then the first chat option. He tells you it's just a weather vane, how he finds out what the weather's going to be, and it's broken, so you offer to fix it. So you have to climb the ladder up to the roof and search the weather vane up on the top. Hit it with your hammer and you'll get 3 pieces. Now you need to take this down to the anvil. And use each piece on an anvil. As long as you have the bronze, iron, and steel in your inventory, the pieces will get repaired. And take this back to the roof of Seer Farsight's house. Use each piece on the weather vane and head back down. And this time when you speak to Seer Farsight, he's going to give you a weather report. Now you take this weather report back to Aaron in Catherby. And he'll tell you he's already got the guy bringing the ropes to the gnome on White Wolf Mountain. So now I head to White Wolf Mountain and speak to the gnome. From here, you got to go back to Sandview. And from Sandview, you got to go back to the Dwarf, Hammerspike, and the Dwarven Mines. Once again, head south and then go west. Speak to Hammerspike once, and then once you talk to him again, you're going to have each of the 3 dwarf guards around him attack you. They're relatively low level, so they're not hard to take down. Speak to Hammerspike one more time, and he'll agree to leave the girl from Barbarian Village alone. So now you need to head back to Barbarian Village. Speak to Tassie, and she'll tell you how to make a pot lid and give you a piece of wet clay for you to mold. So make an unfired pot lid and use it on the pottery oven. Speak to Tassie once more, and then use the lid on the pot to make an airtight pot. Now you gotta head back to the apothecary to get your breathing salts. Once you give him the airtight pot, he'll put breathing salts in them for you. And take these to the blacksmith. The first time you talk to him, you're going to give him the tincture and the breathing salts. And the second time you talk to him, he'll fix those 5 pigeon cages into chicken cages for you. Now you need to head back to Seth the Farmer in Lumbridge. When you talk to Seth, give him the chicken cages, he'll take them, and now you need to go back into the Ham Fanatics camp and speak to John House. He agrees to keep his end of the deal and let Jimmy the Chisel go. So now you need to go back to Draenor and speak to Aggie. Aggie's going to agree to give her character reference. And now you need to head back to Brian's Axe Shop in Port Sarim. Talk to him about the quest. And he'll sharpen the axe for you. Now you need to head back to Kramja and Shiloh Village to speak to a forest ranger. Now you can walk south from the lodestone, or you can head north and speak to the guy with the cart here, pay him 10 GP, and he'll take you right into Shiloh Village. Speak to one of the forest rangers with the sharpened axe, and you'll get your redwood. And then head back into Shiloh Village to bring the redwood back to Yanni Salika. He just says thanks once you give him the redwood, and your character gets all sorts upset, describing to him what he did, and he agrees to give you 2 antique lamps worth 10,000 experience each. Once you get these lamps, that's going to be quest complete. If this helped you, leave a like, comment down below if you have any questions, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out some of my other stuff. I make boss guides, quest guides, and event guides. Thanks.